You ever have one of those days where you come home, dead tired, just ready to sit down, crack open a cold one, and breathe, only to find your entire world flipped upside down? That was me, Dylan Mercer, the day I pulled into my driveway and realized it was gone. Not cracked, not damaged, gone. Torn to shreds like someone had taken a jackhammer to my sanity. At first, I thought it was a mistake. Maybe the wrong address. Maybe city workers hit the wrong property. But then I saw her, Linda Fairchild, president of the Lakewood Meadows HOA, standing there in her floppy sun hat, sipping iced tea, looking at the rubble like she'd just curated an art exhibit. "Oh, Dylan," she said, that sweet, syrupy tone that always meant something awful was coming. "You really should have waited for the committee's final approval." I blinked at her, trying not to lose it. "Final approval? You signed the damn form yourself." She smiled, that condescending kind of smile people use when they think they're smarter than you. "That wasn't final," she said, waving a clipboard like a wand. "The board didn't reach consensus." "There is no board, Linda," I said, feeling my blood pressure spike. "It's just you and your little fan club." She chuckled and turned to the guys in neon vests, who were busy loading chunks of my driveway into a truck. "Make sure it's all cleaned up before 5, she said. "We don't want to violate our own landscaping guidelines." That's when it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. This was revenge. See, last spring I'd voted against Linda's proposal to ban overnight parking. She hated losing, and ever since then, she'd been looking for an excuse to make my life hell. And she found it. I pulled out my phone, showed her the scanned approval forms, her signature, even a video from my doorbell camera of her handing me the stamped paperwork. She just blinked. "That driveway was too dark," she said flatly. "It didn't match the aesthetic harmony of the neighborhood." "It's gray," I said. "It matches my roof." "Well, harmony isn't just about color," she said, already walking away. I could feel something boiling inside me. Not just anger, but that deep, helpless kind of rage that comes when someone in power thinks you're too small to fight back. But she underestimated me. My neighbor, Marcus, retired firefighter, doesn't miss a thing, came walking over. "Dylan, I saw the whole damn thing," he said. "They brought the crew this morning, no notice, no warning, just tore it up." That was all I needed. I filed a police report, called my cousin Dana, she's a property attorney, and emailed the city code office. By the time the sun went down, the ball was rolling. 2 days later, Officer Perez from code enforcement showed up. No nonsense. Boots on gravel, clipboard in hand. She crouched near the busted concrete and said, "They used heavy machinery with no safety barriers. No city permits either. This isn't an HOA issue anymore. This is criminal destruction of property." That night, I sat on my porch with a cold compress on my head, watching neighbors peek out their windows. I knew they were wondering the same thing. If it happened to me, could it happen to them? Turns out, yeah, it already had. One woman came by, said Linda had ripped out her flower beds for being too colorful. Another said her shed was relocated while she was at work. It was a pattern, control disguised as community. Dana, my cousin, called me later that night. "You've got her cornered," she said. "Unauthorized demolition, misused HOA funds, no legal authority. She's toast." We filed suit the next morning. And that's when everything started unraveling. Turns out, Linda had been using HOA funds like her personal piggy bank. The crew she hired to demolish my driveway paid in cash from the HOA reserve account. No vote, no approval. When the city investigated, they found even bigger problems: missing funds, fake invoices, projects that never existed. The board members started resigning one by one, claiming they didn't know. The treasurer? His name was on a reimbursement check labeled landscape corrections. The neighborhood was furious. We held an emergency meeting on the basketball court behind the clubhouse. Marcus set up a speaker. People brought folding chairs. I stood there with a stack of photos, police reports, and a petition. "This isn't about a driveway anymore," I said. "It's about power." She broke the law, and she did it because she thought she could. By the end of the night, we had over 60 signatures. Linda was suspended, her HOA access revoked, her name scraped off the entrance sign. But it didn't stop there. The city audit revealed she'd embezzled nearly $200,000 over 5 years. She'd been funneling HOA money through a fake landscaping company registered under her cousin's name in Arizona. The district attorney got involved, then the feds. I'll never forget the morning the black SUVs rolled up. Agents walked into Linda's house, came out with 2 computers, a box of hard drives, and a safe. The whole street watched. Nobody said a word. No gloating, no laughter, just quiet disbelief. 2 weeks later, I was called to testify before a grand jury. Dana prepped me for days. When I took the stand, I told them everything, from the first time Linda threatened me over mailbox paint to the moment I found my driveway in ruins. They played the footage of her handing me the approval form, and I could see the jurors lean forward. That's when I knew it was over. The indictments came fast: fraud, vandalism, misappropriation of funds, wire fraud, racketeering. Linda was arrested at a country club 20 miles away, still in her tennis whites. Her mugshot hit the evening news before dinner. The HOA was dissolved, then rebuilt from scratch. Marcus ran for interim president, won by a landslide. Mrs. Tanner, the quiet lady with the flower beds, became secretary. And me? They asked me to head the new oversight committee. At first, I said no. I'd had enough drama for a lifetime. But then I thought of what this place had been, a neighborhood afraid of its own front yards, and I said yes. We rewrote the bylaws. No single person could make executive decisions without a public vote. All spending had to be transparent, and every resident had access to the financial records. We even installed a big bulletin board outside the clubhouse with a brass plaque at the top, governed by the people who live here. Months later, Linda got 12 years in federal prison, no parole for at least 8. The judge ordered full restitution, though everyone knew she'd never pay it all back. Still, the message was clear: abuse power here, and you'll lose it, publicly, permanently. Now, when I pull into my driveway, rebuilt, smooth slate with black trim, I sometimes just sit there for a minute, listening to the wind through the trees. Kids ride bikes past my yard. Neighbors wave longer than they used to. There's laughter again. The fear's gone. And sometimes, I still think about that first day, standing there, watching the dust settle, feeling completely powerless. Funny how something as simple as a driveway could bring an entire community back to life. But here's the thing, and I'll leave you with this. What would you have done if someone with power tore down something you built, something you owned, just because they could? Would you fight back? Or would you stay quiet and hope it doesn't happen again? Let me know down in the comments. I'm curious, where do you draw the line between rules and abuse of power? And if you've ever had your own HOA nightmare, well, I think we'd all love to hear it.